Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete, and today we're gonna do a little bit of a different type of video. Sorta different, still related to housing. But we're gonna talk about how the Great Resignation could actually benefit and help some people who have been out of the labor market for some time. So, we learned about this in economics in university and college, which is that there's always some form of unemployment, right? There's people who can't get a job because they don't have skills or experience. They've got these huge gaps in their resumes, like they haven't worked in a really long time. There's some people who have been busy raising families for years, so they've been on maternity or paternity leave. And I know a lot has changed during the pandemic and during this whole viral situation, but it's also because of these massive changes and this huge reshuffling or resignation that's happening that actually creates opportunities for some people. But it's really about sort of having the right mindset, having the right attitude and approach to life, because the reality is if you haven't been working for a long time, your skills probably are not really relevant anymore. And so you do have to take some steps back, a lower paying job to sort of back into the game again, build some momentum, start building your resume and your career again. And so we'll get into a little bit more of the positive aspects and possibilities for you people out there, because Toronto is getting much more expensive to live in. It's not just Toronto, it's pretty much everywhere. To get a grip on that, you have to go out there and work. You got to make more money. You got to make any kind of money because it's better than zero, right? So we'll get into that topic a little bit deeper right after this. Okay, so a little bit of the backstory is that, there's this really great big resignation happening right now, sort of all across North America. Now, I'm not too familiar with what's happening in the US, but here in Canada, it's definitely happening as people are shifting and moving all over the place. Many people are tired of the previous jobs they were at and they just wanted to move on to something bigger, even move to a whole different location altogether. And, of course, I know a lot of people are going to talk about, the vaccine and mandates and stuff like that, but it's been proven that the vaccine is working to a certain extent. Because if you want to backtrack a year ago, this time last year, we had no idea what was going on. There was no vaccine. We were all just locked down at home, not really knowing what to do, and many were depending on government handouts. Fast forward a year, and now we have some sort of medication, some sort of vaccine that can help us get back to normalcy. Now, for those of you who refuse to get a vaccine and refuse to get back to normal life, then, I wish you all the best. There's really not much we can do as a society to sort of carry you forward. Hopefully, at some point, you will come to your senses and get the vaccine and try to join us back into normal life again. But this video is really for people who are ready to get back to work, who want to get a job, who want to sort of start building momentum again in their lives. Oftentimes, it's not necessarily because of the vaccine, because it's just been harder for you to get a job. You're sending out resumes, you're not getting any calls, you're not getting any interviews. All of that seems to have changed right now. Most of the jobs are sort of in the lower level, entry level type position. I know here in Ontario and Toronto, we definitely have shortages in labor, trades, construction, healthcare, even technology to some extent. And so there's a lot of jobs, there's a lot of opportunities out there for people. In fact, we have such a big shortage that Doug Ford and his government are seeking to fast track skilled immigrants who may not have the same designations in Canada now to help them fill some of those positions where we need them, such as in healthcare. And so that's sort of where we are right now, guys. Like, there's an incredible opportunity for you to go out there to get a job instead of getting zero, or worse yet, going into debt because you're just at home all day shopping on Amazon. And so my advice to young people or anybody who's looking to buy a condo or house one day is that, all of that planning and all those strategic steps you got to make happens years before. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't suddenly have $100,000 in your bank account. You don't suddenly have that dream job where you can now get $1 million mortgage. It takes time, it takes years, and it takes a lot of very strategic moves. And right now is one of the most important ones that you can take. It even takes time to repair your credit if your credit situation isn't very good. And so it's always what we do today where we see the benefits and the fruits of our labor years later. So if your situation is not good right now, it's because you didn't make good decisions few years ago, or maybe even a decade ago. But the point is that it's never too late to start. It's never too late to change your life and to just take action, make some movements, make some small movements. confidence. Fix up your resume today. Send out some resumes tomorrow. Maybe next week you might get some calls and you might get some interviews. Doesn't mean you're going to get the job, but at least you're moving forward and moving towards something bigger. And I hate to burst your bubble, but if you think you're worth more than what you're being offered in terms of salary or an hourly wage, this is what I tell sellers who are misinformed about the market and they think their house is worth more than it actually is. If your house was worth $1.8 million, then you would have got $1.8 million. But the simple fact is you haven't even gotten any offers. And so the market price is the market price. It's what you're worth right now. Doesn't mean you're going to be worth that for the rest of your life, because you can certainly improve your skills, you can develop expertise, you can build up your professional network, and you can develop experience, which is what is valuable in the marketplace. Now, there's levels to everything, guys. We've all heard those stories of people who've started way down at the bottom of companies and worked their way over years all the way up to the top as CEO or a partner at a firm. Like, you really think they suddenly got on a streak of good luck and they didn't have to sacrifice anything? No, they had to sacrifice a lot to get to where they are. So go out there and fix up your resume. Apply to as many positions that fit your criteria as possible. Go on as many interviews as you can. Maybe you can try to find something in your industry, or maybe you can try something new completely. And maybe you can develop some new connections and open new doors of opportunities in industries that you never even thought about before. And I'm hearing these stories firsthand. They are finally getting jobs where they couldn't get before. Either they got laid off, or they quit work to do more schooling, or maybe they wanted to try out a business idea and it didn't really work out the way they wanted it to. Now is the time for you to get back and start building up your assets again. Start building up your bank account again. Very expensive here now in Toronto, especially for living, right? But the labor market is incredible for employees right now. The minimum wage is now $15, because they're going to pay you more, especially if you negotiate well and ask for it. But here's the real kicker beyond money, guys. So many vacant jobs available that whenever somebody leaves a position at a company and it doesn't get filled, that work still needs to get done. So that gets transferred to the rest of the staff and team members. And so if you end up getting a job and help lighten the load for your coworkers and your teammates, you're gonna come in like a white shining knight saving the day. Honestly, most times people leave jobs and positions, or even divorce, is because they feel unappreciated. They feel like they're being taken for granted. And so honestly, there is no better time for you to get a job if you've had trouble getting a job in the past. It's just everything is swinging in your favor for now. The appreciation won't last. Maybe it'll last for a few months, but it's way better than how it was before in the past, before the pandemic. This is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm afraid if you don't take advantage and you don't make a move quickly and you don't secure something and start building momentum in your life, you might miss one of the greatest opportunities for you to get back into the labor market. So you can start paying off some debt again, so you can start managing your monthly finances better. And then hopefully one day, if you build yourself up in a couple years, you're gonna contact me and say, Pete, can you help me buy a condo or a house? I'm ready. And thanks for making that video 2 years ago. Remember, guys, no job is too small. No job is unimportant. There's always something that you can learn and develop. And at the very least, at least you're getting into a normal routine and you're making yourself productive to society. You never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who's gonna help you, and you never know which doors are gonna open once you take action and start getting out there and interviewing for jobs. But the first thing you gotta do is step out of your door first. Pick yourself up, take a shower, cut your hair, organize your life. In many ways, this pandemic feels like a great reset, and I assure you the economy is going to come roaring back like we've never seen before. And so you want to make sure that you're prepared for that. You want to make sure that you're participating in that, especially in the housing market. But more importantly, you can build some momentum and start building some confidence back in your life again. And there's never any shame to work at a job, at any job, to feed your family. And it's never too late to start. So I hope you guys found this video useful, helpful, maybe even a little bit inspiring in some way. But I would love to encourage you all to hit the subscribe button, like our channel, so that we can get out to more people and spread our positive, amazing message here at Selling Toronto. And I would really love it if you were in the position that I'm discussing. Leave a message in the comments below and say, thank you, Pete. I'm on my way. That's all you gotta say. And who knows, maybe I'm gonna check in with you a year or two down the road to see how you're doing. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. So many vacant and open jobs available. So many vacant and